Hi, this is Mirza and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
One of the reasons why I think a lot of people have started respecting you hugely has been your entire stand on the water conservation in Mumbai, and you've been getting your share of brick bats as well. In fact, you had tweeted that the irony of the times we live in, farmers commit suicide due to drought and people waste water to play Holi. Go ahead, call me anti-Hindu. You've been trolled like heavily on that. How do you look at it now?
Let me start off with a clarification. And it's really unfortunate that I have to clarify, but I should. You know, when I look back at that tweet, I wish I hadn't said, go ahead, call me anti-Hindu, because I think what it did was it diluted the impact of what it is that I was trying to say, and it just became like a controversy, which it shouldn't have been.
Right.
Having said that, maybe it garnered an attention, but that was not the intention at all. The reason why I said, go ahead, call me anti-Hindu was because many times in the past, and Faridun, this is a recent phenomena, you know, as actors, we've been speaking up for saving paper, conserving water, going cracker free during Diwali. What are we talking about? We're talking about the quality of our air, our water. We're talking about the earth that is connected to our lives, and we're saying that, listen, culturally, perhaps it's time for us to change the way we've done many things because it's impacting our environment. And never has it so happened, other than in the recent past, that I've been attacked for being anti-Hindu.
Right.
And a torrents of tweets during Diwali for a campaign that I was running. I'm a conservationist, I'm a nature lover. So when I set these campaigns up, I don't imagine that people are going to say, you're being anti-culture and you're being anti-Hindu and anti-religion when you're saying don't burst crackers during Diwali because you're concerned about the quality of the air. Now, the reason why I said go ahead, call me into anti-Hindu was because I had been attacked before. I had been called anti-Hindu before, so I was lashing out. It was a reaction. What I have understood now is that none of my comments can be reactive. They shouldn't be. I have to be wiser than that, because the battle that I am fighting, that we are fighting as human beings, is far greater than these petty things, you know. And if we have to really make a difference, we have to rise above these petty things that people keep springing at us time and time again.
Now, does it bother you, because we've been seeing that quite often, that if anyone says something and if it is not which is conducive to the general, what is perceived as popular viewpoint, then a person is being trolled and abused, and I don't know, when you were facing that entire thing, I had in fact
it's very disturbing, the kind of things people say to you.
Yeah, in fact, I noticed.
It gets very personal. I mean, I've been in the past, this time though, everybody started reading
I
and
noticed
seeing,
that
but in the past
people were calling you jihadi, Mirza and everything, not just for
everything is moved to Pakistan. Everything is your jihadi. Or never in the past of my public life has my surname become such a big
issue.
Not issue. Like, it's never defined my identity.
That's true.
It has never defined my identity. Nobody has introduced me to a group of people saying, meet Dia Mirza, she's Muslim.
Exactly.
Because the fact of the matter is that who I am is what I do, what I feel, how I think. That's not defined by my surname.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't be for anyone.
It never was. Even you were espousing causes earlier as well.
Absolutely.
These things were never raised in the past. But what has been the learning experience? I think the best part is that you've not cowed down. You've still been talking about the water conservation. You've also spoken about the entire IPL thing, that it should be shifted out of Maharashtra, which I think ideally it should be, because considering the sort of crisis which it is.
You know, Sahil
today they're saying that sewage water they'll be using.
Yeah, you know, Faridun, Sahil and I, my husband, have had a big debate on this thing. Because when I said that, symbolically, even if it is mere symbolism, it should be moved out of Maharashtra. And he said, why?
Exactly.
Sahil's a big cricket fan, and when he said, what do you mean it should be moved out? I said, because it's not, how can you justify to that poor person who's standing in line for hours to get access to one matka of water, that you are wasting so many gallons of, thousands of gallons of water to play a sport? So he said, that is the paradox of our times. The haves and the have-nots, the distance, the gap between the two have widened and widened significantly. If we really want to make a difference, the question we should be asking of ourselves and of our nation is, drought is not a new phenomena. It has been happening for years. The intensity and the frequency of droughts and floods is going to increase because of climate change. What are we doing as a government, as a people, to protect ourselves, to protect our poor from such adversity, such situations? And there are enough measures that can be taken. Water harvesting,
Rainwater harvesting,
recharging of groundwater, building check dams. There's a lot that can be done. What are we doing to
Nothing.
do that? What are we doing to ask of industries that are water intensive in Maharashtra? How are we compelling them to reduce their water consumption or seek alternative methods?
Sugar industries, to be specific.
Sugar, paper, there's so many industries.
Right.
If you look at China, Faridun, and India loves to look at China. You know, we're constantly saying we want to be,
Absolutely.
yeah, right? So if you look at China, China has actually understood how important water is, and because they have the density of population that they do, they are taking stringent measures to change the way they function. Their industries are being revamped as we speak. So they've actually set up factories that make paper out of stone, which is abandoned at quarries and with zero use of water. Innovation is there. Are we applying it? Are we using it?
No, absolutely. And frankly speaking, the way we pollute our rivers. But
Yeah,
once
we're
again,
chopping our trees down,
if you say
we're reducing
anything,
green cover,
Exactly.
we're polluting our rivers with industrial waste, we're
And a lot of other
spewing
waste as well, yeah.
affluents. I mean, look at the rivers of Bombay. You know, there was this beautiful documentary I saw online, and it felt so bad. And very sensibly done, because this group of young people took footage of rivers in films and songs from old Hindi films.
जी, जी.
And they said, ये आज का जो यही नदी आज के तारीख में ऐसी दिखती है, filled with garbage, dried up, बिल्कुल नल्ले की तरह, बिल्कुल बुरा हाल उस नदी का, जो एक फिल्म में 40 साल पहले, 30 साल पहले, 25 साल पहले looked so beautiful and magnificent. I think that speaks of us as a people. What are we doing in the name of progress? हम सब बर्बाद कर रहे हैं.
Even in terms of, frankly speaking, even in terms of progress, at the same time, in terms
and sheer apathy, neglect.
Apathy, and even in terms of devotion, we are not realizing what we are doing. Certain things, because if you talk about it, आपके ऊपर मतलब हर तरीके के strictures आ जाएंगे. But the fact is that we need to be more eco-friendly. We need to have more eco-friendly Ganapatis and all these things.
Absolutely.
We don't realize it, but it's like it's
people need to understand what it means to be eco-friendly. Also, I think what we need to do more and more as a society is make the governments more accountable for their actions.
यहाँ तो स्लोगन से फुर्सत नहीं है.
Sad.
स्लोगन हो जाए.
We're drowning ourselves in the noise, and we're not managing to go beyond it. And that's really critical.
Even today, that train carrying 5 lakh gallons of water has reached Latur, but the moment it has reached, it's all credit. Who's just hogging the credit?
Of course.
Frankly, and it's very sad.
नेकी करने वाले कभी.
Exactly, नेकी कर दरिया में डाल.
Exactly.
And people are dying over there. Like in Latur, there are reports, water death they are calling, that वो line में खड़े हुए हैं, and वहीं पर चक्कर खा के a person died. People are dying like just like that, just because of the fact that they're not even able to reach.
Faridun, this has been happening in Madhya Pradesh for the last 20 years. More. We've been getting serious warnings from nature for a very long time. And I just really hope that the attention that the media is giving the situation compels administration and government to actually take stringent measures that are sustainable. देखिए, it's not, of course, the immediate action is to send tankers of water. That's quick fix. What is the long-term plan? What are you going to do? Now this metro rail yard that they want to build in RA, एक छोटा सा green lung है हमारे शहर का, already हवा के बर्बादी कर रखे हैं. देवनार डंपिंग ग्राउंड को जलाते रहते हैं. And you know how it's burnt? Because of warring gang lords who want stake for the tender for garbage. पैसे के खातिर लोग क्या क्या कर रहे हैं आजकल.
No, seriously, and water is going to become like a because of like mafia wars are going to be fought on because of water. It was,
They say the next world war
it
will be
happen
fought
because
over
of
water.
Over water. Okay.
And our sheer stupidity.
Sheer stupidity. No, seriously, actually, and there should be done something about sea water if we can possibly do that. I think Chinese people they're doing it.
Salination.
Yeah, I think they're doing it. So I don't know why we are not doing it.
Don't go near the sea, because I'll start off about the plastic we're dumping into it.
Seriously.
That's another story
Seriously.
altogether. But
Seriously.
Faridun, the good news is that there are very many amazing people in India who are doing incredible work to educate people about the conditions and how these conditions are going to impact our lives and our livelihoods, and also are doing some seriously amazing work on the ground. And I'm really, it's been life altering. It changes your perspective of everything when you work with such people. And I'm so blessed.
No, absolutely. So the problem these days is that if you point out that these things need to be done and this is something which is not right,
it's not about being
anti-national हो जाते हैं. अरे इसमें what is that if you you're not saying anything negative about the country, you're actually pointing out that what needs to be done.
See, we've always been the kind of people that have protected our flaws. We've covered them. हमको पसंद नहीं आता है जब हमारे घर की बात बाहर आ जाती है.
Exactly.
We are like that as a society. We're very protective about our flaws. We have to start shaming ourselves, because the only way we will understand that we need to change is if we start shaming ourselves.
क्या बात है, बिल्कुल सही बात, बिल्कुल सही बात.
और ये जो नेशनल एंटी नेशनल ये सब बेकार के मुद्दे हैं.
बिल्कुल सही बात.
क्योंकि जब बाढ़ आएगी, जब तूफान आएगा, जब धरती फटेगी, जब ड्राउट आएगा, तब वही याद आएगा जो आज आप नहीं दोहरा रहे हैं बार-बार.
बिल्कुल सही बात है, बिल्कुल सही बात. That's absolutely true actually, and it is the way it is said that patriotism is the last refuge of the scoundrel, because they don't have anything else, because they've not been doing anything concrete, and which is very sad actually, which is extremely sad.